Hey, this is Jamie at Useful Knowledge. So today we're going to show you how to make homemade tomato cages out of field fencing. Now I have about 20 of these to do. So I'm going to show you how to make them quickly using only a couple of tools. You'll need some needle nose pliers and you'll need some bolt cutters. Okay, what to purchase? What I use is 47-inch tall field fencing. In my experience, that has been the perfect height to grow tomatoes over the summer. Now locally, all I could find when I was looking for some was a 330-foot roll. For these 20 tomato cages that I'm building, I'm only going to use about 120 feet. So I will have some left over. If you can find a shorter roll, like a 150-foot roll, I suggest you use that. Or if you can get several folks together that need tomato cages, then you can obviously use that other roll. I'm just going to save the roll because I know at some point in the future I will probably build more tomato cages. And the reason I like to use this type of fencing is the openings are big enough that you can actually place your hand through them and pull out a tomato. So if you have fencing that has smaller openings that you can't get your hand in, you're going to have a more difficult time harvesting your tomatoes. Okay, if you got a brand new roll of fencing, the first thing you have to do is you're going to have to take the little staples that actually hold the fencing together from the manufacturer. So I'm going to show you what to do. You just grab these right here and basically you're just going to work them until they come loose, just like that right there. Now you're going to do this all the way up. There's probably 6 to 8 that hold it together. So, but be careful when you get to that last one. This fencing is going to open up pretty quickly. So you got to be prepared for that. Okay, just to show you what I'm talking about, I've got one staple left on here, and it's right here. And you can see that's going to pop. So just be careful and stay out of the way of it. So it's going to slap back like that. So just be careful with that because it actually has some cutoffs right here that will get you if you're not careful. Okay, I brought out a tarp so you can easily see what I'm doing. And right now I'm just going to roll this out about 7 to 8 feet. So all I did here is I rolled about 7 to 8 feet of this out. And now I'm going to show you at what length to cut these. Okay, in my experience building tomato cages, I have always used about 6 feet of field wire. So what I like to do is count out 12 of these rectangles from where you're going to start. You count out 12 of them. And before you get into the 13th, we're going to cut it right here, all the way down. And what we're going to use that for as the tie, that when you actually make your cage, that's going to be your tie to hold your cage together. Okay, I'm a little unorthodox when I cut these things. I just use bolt cutters because it's going to cut a lot easier than anything I've found. Now, I have used an angle grinder on them before, but you got sparks flying everywhere, and I found a bolt cutter is just a lot easier. Bolt cutters, you can get them cheap. A lot of times your stores like a Harbor Freight, you can get them for 20 bucks or less. And when you get done, you got some pretty decent bolt cutters if you need them. Okay, let's cut these. Okay, so now all we're going to do is we're going to take that cut piece, that end of that cut piece where I said would be our tie, and you're just going to fold it in like that. And you're going to do that to each one of those, and that's your tie, and you're done. Okay, as you can see, start to finish, once you get going, I can make a tomato cage about every 2 to 3 minutes. It's really easy to do, especially if you got something really good to cut it with. That's why I suggest the bolt cutters. Okay, and once you get it built, that's what it's going to look like. It's about 4 feet of nice tomato cage, and these will last you 20 years before they rust out. I'll show you what it looks like from the top, looking down. It's just the perfect size. I haven't tied a tomato up in probably 30 years. I just let them grow and let them come out where they want to. And sometimes you got to push them back in to let them grow up, but most of the time not. I very rarely have to do anything other than just put this tomato cage over the tomatoes, stake it, and let them go. And so you can look at our other video on how I grow tomatoes, and you will see these cages in that video. So we hope you gain some useful knowledge on how easy it is to make a homemade tomato cage that will last you for years and years and make it easier for you to grow tomatoes.